When you were a young child, how did you think that you have to enter the world of finance? What made you get into this?
This is a very tough question because I don't think you ever ask a child who's raised in an army background, where did you learn to be patriotic? You never ask a person who's a doctor's child, when did you learn about paracetamol, Calpol? And I think my story is the same. I don't think there was a day I decided to be in finance. It was a part of me while growing up. My dad was in finance, and our family, the way we think, everything we do is finance. And just to give you a little anecdote, because you asked me, I was 6 years old and I couldn't hold the newspaper. So back then, when you're that young, there are no apps, there are no, where you can scroll stuff. And if you had to look at a number of a stock and what's the pricing of the stock, you had to look at a newspaper. It was called Economic Times and was larger than I was. So I used to sit on the newspaper, and even when I didn't know how to spell pharmaceutical or manufacturing, I used to look for the pricing for my dad. So I have that visual of me sitting on top of the newspaper, trying to figure out what's the price of a particular stock on a particular day. And he bought that stock. And I don't think I understood what is finance. I did not understand what is the price of a stock. But when I looked at his expression, I knew he did well on a particular stock. And that's how my journey of finance, of money, of economics, of marketing began. And yeah, that's the story.
That's quite early. That's quite young to be, looking into economic times and, trying to look for stock and its value on that particular day. That's quite a young age from even today's times. Even kids, I
Mm.
don't know, haven't come across a kid at 6 years old looking into paper like that. That's very intriguing. So, how did it convert into a passion and a choice for you to enter into the financial studies?
I think it happened very organically. I was very, very inclined to accounting. As the subjects unfolded in high school, I did take computer science as one of, because at that time it was new to study computer science. And so I did study C++ at one point in time. I did study economics. I loved economics. I'd seen so much of economics at home. I mean, by the time I was 14, we used to have a monthly balance sheet of our house. We used to have a small income and outgoing, and we used to plan. Oh, my dad used to remove the zeros and used to say, okay, we have 70 coming in and we have 20 going out and we have 4 of rent and this and that. So what do we do if we need a vacation? So that the child is slowly learning at home, and then you're exposed to these subjects in high school. I loved it. I loved how accounting came into being. I wasn't a very good test taker. I was always the smartest kid and with the smartest gang of kids, but I don't know what would happen. I wasn't a very great test taker, but I would love to completely drench myself in the subjects that I studied. And I think I really liked economics, accounting. And of course, as it progressed, you finish your high school and then you need to get into undergrad. And it was a natural progression to get into marketing was a major subject, accounting was a major subject, economics was a major subject. I also fell in love with marketing at one point in time. I kind of read that book, Peter F. Duck, and then you're reading Maslow's theory, and then you're reading about how people react when somebody, launches something, how advertising impacts people. What are the front runners? So very small things, they appeal to you as a child. And I think it's very, very important at that early age, rather than seeing what everybody else is doing, rather than, oh, my best friend's taking like maybe English or science or physics. Rather than that, what really appeals to you. And I know that in this age and time, it's very difficult to understand it that early. But I think because I inherently was exposed to those subjects and I naturally took to them, it just became the next thing that I wanted to do.